I'll tell you now, you get the best out of a man.
That's why I got Clementine.
No, but if you go into a man's room when he's playing video games, and he's playing video games, and you say, all you do is play video games, and you nag him, he'll play video games. If you walk in there and go, you know what, you're so smart, I've seen you do so many amazing things, and you said so many amazing things, why do you waste your time playing video games? You could show me so much. Now you're going to get him off the console.
Perfect.
What are you about to say, Andrew? Because you just started speaking.
I was going to say...
Andrew, she said.
Andrew. I want to hear... I really... Because you've been through a lot in your life. When she told me that you were going to be on and we were going to be on this panel together, I started watching a bunch of your videos, and it really was like, there's so much that you have been through, which is why you have a well of wisdom, right? And the difference between me and you is that you're glorified for it, and I am burned at the stake for everything that I've been through. And it's so funny because people have always said that we were two sides of the same coin, as far as like, well, if Andrew Tate gets banned, Brittany Renner should get banned, because we are all about accountability and truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been through a lot, I've been through a lot. I'm seen as used goods, you're seen as a high value man. Yep. So if you're me, then what?
It's called Jesus.
Huh?
Jesus.
So basically you telling me to call on Jesus.
And a therapist.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
So Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Virtually every tech company on the planet banned him.
So I became the most viral person on the planet with all the algorithms working against me.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You have chosen wisely.
Buckle the up.
Open your eyes.
I don't want any of that. Most women, if you were to say, how do you attract a man, they wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They wouldn't have an idea.
I know. They want a submissive woman.
Hello, my
She
name's
cooks for
Denova.
him. Give him some massage.
Feed
him grapes.
It's not even
Pat his head.
It's not just about that. One of the important things for being a man, especially in a relationship, is we want to be our woman. If I have a woman and I love her, I want to be her portal to the world. I want her to experience things through me and see things through me. So for that, I need a degree of innocence and purity for her. I want to be the first person to put her on a private jet. I want her to get on the jet and go, wow, I did it. Oh, you took me. It's like you wouldn't want to give someone a Christmas present if they'd had 10 presents better than you beforehand.
Pussy is like a Christmas gift. You don't give somebody something that has been opened, tore up, used, and played with.
Yeah,
Would you? It's like, well, duh. Yeah. So as a woman, what makes you attractive to a man, to a degree, is your innocence and your purity. This is very important. And it can go down to very basic, simple things. I'll tell you, if I walk in a club, do you know who the hottest girl in the club? It's the girl who isn't dancing, isn't twerking off stage, not surrounded by dudes. When girls want male attention in a club, they start drinking, twerking. That is the most revolting haram. I may want, but I don't want to be with you. If you show me a girl sitting in the corner, shy, I'm like, good, she hasn't experienced too much life. I can show her things. And also, not just show her things. This is a very important point that I get attacked by the Matrix for, because they completely misunderstand me on purpose. As a man, if I'm out here struggling and leading and trying to lead my household, I also want a woman who shares my values. I want, to a degree, to educate my woman and show her things and for her to agree with me. Like you said earlier, you're looking for a male role model. You want to be a role model to your woman. If she's too experienced with life, it's difficult to be a role model. If she's sitting there shy and quiet, you can come along and say, no, you know what? Don't me. Listen to me. And you can be a role model for her. You can't do that for a woman who knows too much, knows too many dudes, been too many places. So it's this degree of purity that we're looking for that's super important.
I'm curious if she's like done too many things, that's like bad, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm not even talking sexually, like been on a private jet. Yeah. I'm curious because I lived
But how do you get on a private jet without sucking dick?
Oh, I was just curious because my dad's part of he's top 1% in terms of income. And I was just curious, is it different if you did stuff with your dad?
Well, no, that's fine.
No, not like that. Not sexual. That's no, I'm not like.
She said private jet.
Yeah,
I know what
private.
you're saying. Well, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But my point is that we're looking for a true degree of innocence inside of females, and it's that innocence is going to make us feel protective over them, and that the protectiveness is going to make us be good men.
Okay.
So when we're looking at society as a whole and how broken it is, I understand that men have a massive role to play, women have a massive role to play, but a lot of the paternal instincts and instinctual behaviors of men, because the instinctual behavior of man is to die for his woman. Like someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right? If you're going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way, that's because a lot of their instinct is being eroded by the fact that you, like you said, they look through your IG or they look through your life and you've lived so much life and they just feel like, there's nothing new I can bring to this girl's reality.
But I don't feel like that's true though, because like I think it's like I get what you're saying to a degree, right? But it's like you could be on a private jet 10 times, but it's going to be special because it's with you.
Yeah. Not for him, it isn't. Not for him. For him, it's special because it's your first time. Because men, maybe it's a biological predisposition. Maybe it's just the way we're designed. But let's tie it back to sex. Virginity, first time. It's not that you've done it. It's that you've done it with the first time with me. That's what is important.
Excuse me. Who in here is a high-value virgin?
High-value virgin.
It's experience as a whole that men find. It's just the truth. Call me misogynistic, cancel me, whatever. I'm telling the truth. I always have done. It's experience of life as a whole that men, to a degree, find off-putting. We don't want a woman who's had a bunch of trauma, had a bunch of experiences, done a bunch of knows a bunch of people, been a bunch of places. That's the absolute opposite of what we want. We want the complete polar opposite of that. And what's funny is women want men who have done those things. I'll tell you right now. Go out there and find a virgin woman and say, do you want to have your first boyfriend? Do you want to lose your virginity to a virgin man or a man
virgin hunk.
or a man who's had a couple girls? She'll choose a dude with experience as a virgin herself. Experience is always coveted and respected in men. It's the opposite in women.
That's true.
It's true. So we have to look at how the world is. Women, especially between their 18 and 28 or 18 and 25, let's say, are living these crazy lifestyles, these crazy lives with the most important people, richest people on the planet, doing everything that can be experienced under the sun. And then at 29, 30, some dude's expected to come along, know he's second place to X, Y, Z, and be happy with that. And not allow it to hurt his ego, and sit there and pick it up and put a face on. It kills him every day inside. That's the reality. He's in love with you, and you've been where with who? I can't afford a jet. I'm Joe Schmo.
Okay.
That breaks their hearts.
Do you think that hoes can ever be turned into housewives?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Okay, I'll answer that question. And the answer is actually, truthfully, yes. Which I know a lot of people are confused by. They can. If you're a good enough, high enough level man, you absolutely can turn a hoe into a housewife. But why do you? Because you don't have to. A man like me, I could, but I'm not low on options, so I would never decide to do that. If you're a billionaire, could you? You can find an old rusty car and rebuild it, or you can just buy a new one, right? So it's not about what could be done; it's about what will be done. So once women hit a certain status of man, I don't think women are stupid. I actually argue the fact that women have a beautiful intuition. I think that women, to a degree, their intuition is truly almost psychic. The number of times I've come home and she's like, "You were cheating," and I was like, "How the?" I'm fucking cheating. You have intuition and it's real. You guys are smart, right? And if they get to a certain echelon of man, they're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere else to go. They're going to get to a guy eventually. They're going to stop at the buck and go, you know what? Where am I going to surpass this specimen? So I'm just going to behave for him. So you could turn a hoe into a housewife that way. But why would a man at that level want to do that?
What
are you about to say, Andrew? Because you just started speaking up.
I was going to say...
Andrew, she said.
Andrew. I want to hear... Because you've been through a lot in your life. When she told me that you were going to be on and we were going to be on this panel together, I started watching a bunch of your videos. And it really was like, there's so much that you have been through, which is why you have a well of wisdom, right? And the difference between me and you is that you're glorified for it, and I am burned at the stake for everything that I've been through.
A dick.
And it's so funny because people have always said that we were two sides of the same coin.
No, you're not. Yeah, no, you're not.
As far as like, well, if Andrew Tate gets banned, Bernie Renner should get banned because we are all about accountability and truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been through a lot. I've been through a lot.
A dick.
I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man.
Yep.
So if you're me, then what? What's next?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's interesting you make that observation, and you are correct. That's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. It's unfair, I guess. The world's not fair, but that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. Men are respected for going through things and surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you look at women love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something. They're
war wounds.
Yeah, they're war. Men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say this right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine she naturally becomes. And if you were to give me my ideal woman, I would not have wanted her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person, and I can take care of her and protect her. Whereas as a man, to be a good man, you need to have been through a bunch of trauma, because if you haven't been through trauma as a man, you're a weakling. You have to have been through a bunch. So the masculine and the feminine is a very interesting point there. As for, I don't know your history, I don't know the past, but we can just talk in generalizations in regards
People
to
like me, I guess, under the same umbrella. It doesn't have to be personal.
I don't know any of it, but we'll give generalizations. One of the main reasons that men are scared of a female with history is because it makes the man insecure. And scared dogs bite. So this is why men will snap or get angry quick, or they'll bring up your if you get in an argument with him, he'll bring up your history, whatever. But a lot of it is insecurity, and it's not insecurity because the man is insecure. The women, the female paradigm in society convinces men, any man who says anything, you're insecure. It's not insecure in that way. It's insecure in a very realistic, logical way. Like I was saying earlier, she's had a lot of life experience. Let's be honest. Am I the richest guy she's ever had? No. Am I the most famous guy she's ever had? No. Am I the best looking guy she's ever had? No. Like, what's keeping her here? And then part of it comes down to, well, am I second place? If she could do better, would she do better? Like, there's a whole bunch of insecurity involved. And that's where tiny things, like I know it sounds like dumb, tiny things about the favorite car brand become more important than ever, right? It's your job as a woman, regardless of how much sexual history you've had or what guy you're with, etc. It's your job as a woman to make your man feel secure in the fact and make him feel like a man, like Auntie was saying, make him feel like the man no matter what he does, so that he feels like you really, truly believe he's the best choice for you on the planet. That's your job to do. Now, if you've had a checkered past, that's perhaps more difficult. You need to be more tactful with it, more tactical about it. But you have to achieve the same result. You have to do the exact same thing, right? So, yeah. It's easy for me if I get a 21-year-old virgin from some village in Slovakia and I'm multimillionaire Andrew Tate. Of course, it's a very easy, she's never had better. She'll never get better. She's never been anywhere. Boom, boom, easy one, right? But like you said, the world's not so idealistic. The reality is that people have had relationships, et cetera, et cetera. But a man is happiest in the relationship when he feels like man of the house and when he truly feels like you believe he's the best man that you could possibly ever get and have ever gotten. Because a man is jealous. I'll tell you something. I used to say this to girls as like a joke. And I used to say, truth and jest. I used to say, no, but I say it's a joke. I say, you cheated on me before I met you. And she'd be like, what do you mean? I didn't even know you. It's like, yeah, that guy before I even knew you. You cheated on me. And they used to laugh, whatever. But that's how men think. That's the male mind. Like, I love you. And you've been who? But I didn't know you. I don't care if you knew me. You should have waited. What do you mean? But that's the male mind. So he is in competition with all of your exes and all of your lifestyle and all the things you've done permanently. And it's down to you as a woman to sit there and go, how do I make him secure in himself and secure in his masculinity and make him believe that investing in me is still worthwhile because I still truly value him, despite the fact that I could do X, Y, Z. I hope that gives some clarity. But if I was a woman and I had to make a man as attracted to me as possible, my goal would be to give that man status and make him feel good about himself. And I would be very, very careful talking too much about life experiences or opposing views, not because he's out to oppress me, not because he's an evil, horrible person, but because he's trying to find somebody with a similar life view. He's trying to find somebody he can show the world to, trying to find somebody he can feel like he can teach things to. Mm-hmm. That's how you get the best out of a man. I'll tell you now how you get the best out of a man.
That's why I got Clementine.
No, but if you go into a man's room when he's playing video games, and he's playing video games, and you say, all you do is play video games, and you nag him, he'll play video games. If you walk in there and go, you know what, you're so smart. I've seen you do so many amazing things, and you said so many amazing things. Why do you waste your time playing video games? You could show me so much. Now you're going to get him off the console. Yeah. I know it's an ego play. I know your old girls are like, why should I have to do that? There's a lot of things.
Because he tells you look pretty in the morning.
It's because you win. It's because in the end you win.
Now may we resurrect Mr. Kevin Samuels from the undead. And may he rise from his grave like the Undertaker, the Godfather, the Cream Gobbler Executionist. Your presence is very much missed. Now, may you please come down and bless us with the gospel.
A woman over 27, it's time to sell. If you're a woman over 30, it's time to mark this shit on 50% off. If you're over 35, it's time to put that shit on clearance. If you're at 40, it's time to put that shit at the outlet. If you're at 50, Goodwill Salvation Army.
Goodwill Salvation Army.
What do you think about the phrase, life is about choices and trade-off?
I agree. I love Kevin Samuels. I feel like that was definitely a message like that he would preach a lot. And it's true.
What was it like meeting Kevin?
He's much taller in person.
And did you take any of his advice?
I felt like I started to think about my life and what I wanted to do moving forward, which kind of, I don't want to say it's scary. I don't want to judge it, but like he talked about a lot of uncomfortable truth about the perception of men and like family structure and my situation. And it was a lot of difficult truths that were really hard to hear. And I feel like I started thinking more, having more of a business mentality after I spoke to Kevin. And I think he was very kind. I listened to him a lot when I was pregnant. And I felt like his message often went missed because they would sensationalize him being hard on women. I've heard him be hard on men. I've heard both. The internet's gonna run with what's the most viral. I loved meeting him. He was a fellow Pisces like myself. He was very charming, he's very funny, very open-minded. He was just like tough love. So I miss him, you know?
Now, before I end this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you appreciate the content, don't forget to hit the thank you button. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to purchase your very own cheek slaying gospels, click here. Gentlemen, I'm out of here.